This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
The taste of success. I'll let you know someday what it tastes like. How's everybody doing? Makeup show. Couldn't do it yesterday. Impossible. Southern California Edison shut down power in a big way. But I said I really wanted to do this show, and we could have just called it a week and said, see you next week. I mean, we waited up till the final hour, but it just wasn't happening. And in fact, almost called it a day today. The power didn't come back on till about maybe 3.5 hours ago. But I gave it to the last minute. I said, I really don't want to let this opportunity go by. I enjoy this show. I love this show. I do this show for me and you, because it makes me happy to make you happy. For some, not all. But yeah, big fires over here in Southern California again. It's fire season. Hot, dry, windy wind. I mean, hurricane speed winds, 50, 70 miles an hour. And all it takes is one Magoo, and it starts, we'll talk about that in a minute. But how the hell is everybody? 2 days after election, day after election, however you want to look at it right now. I meant to be on yesterday, but so now it's theoretically 2 days after the election. But the point is that hell or high water, we made it, and we're going to open the phone lines tonight. I want to hear from you. I'm not going to do much of the norm that we've been doing lately. I'll sit here and wait for the phones to ring in just a few minutes. But that's what we're doing. Hell or high water. It's all about showing up and then making it happen. Right here on Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, except for today because we had to do Thursday due to technical difficulties beyond our control. Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And as of like yesterday, God willing. But I got a lot to be thankful for because many people are going through some hell right now, right here in Southern California with those fires. And we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. But first, I wanted to mention, how do you like this daylight not so savings? I know I love it every time we change the clocks. We changed the clocks this past weekend, and lo and behold, it was, dark out at 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5:15, wherever the hell you live at. Different parts of the country, the sun goes down a little bit longer, slower, faster, all the above. But it still sucks. Everybody's feeling that changeover of it being 6:30 in the evening, and it feels like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. But we will survive. One thing I can guarantee for sure is the sun will rise and the sun will go down and it will come back up again, regardless of all that. But tonight, I promised last week, I said, I'm just going to open up the phones, regardless of what the turnout is with the election, hell or high water, we're going to do it. And I want to hear your thoughts on how you feel, because I know that there's a lot of people celebrating because they realize that things are going to turn around in a lot of people's opinions for the better. And there's a lot of people that their brains are melting right now. They're having epileptic fits and in depression and having a hard time because they were conditioned to believe that now we're all going to go to hell. So I want to hear your thoughts. You've heard mine. I've just put out information through the election to try to help you understand what reality is. But again, reality is all up to the individual because it boils down to their reality, not actual life reality. Maybe we're all living in a dream. Who knows? But I'm going to open up the phones in a couple of minutes, and I want to hear from anybody who wants to get something off their chest, whether they're happy, whether they're sad, whatever you want to talk about. It's your time on this show, and that's what we're going to do. And I'll just sit here until the phones ring. We don't need a whole lot of phone calls, but I want to hear what's going on, and maybe really not maybe. I want to get what's going on in all y'all's heads. All right. Quickly, I want to talk about the reason we weren't on last night was because the power had been cut off from Southern California Edison for almost 2 days, about 35 hours. I mean, I was at the point where the refrigerator was running out of cool, the ice maker was starting to leak, and then lo and behold, thankfully, it kicked in only about 2.5 hours ago, and then we went into oh crap mode, and let's go. Show must go on, because it was just getting ready to call it. 30 more minutes, I would have called it and said, you know what, stuff happens, see you next week. But I didn't want to just let it go. I really did. That's why I chose to try and go, we'll extend it one day if they don't get it on, because we're still having pretty bad winds out there, and a lot of poor people over here in Ventura County, which is just north of LA County. But basically, right up each other's butt. I mean, it's LA, okay? And God, those winds started in a farmland area and just raced. I mean, when you got 70-mile-an-hour winds and flames, it covered a lot of distance in a very short time. And the winds were so bad that they couldn't even get planes up in there to do, the chemical drops and things like that. Big, massive homes that are up there burned to the ground. I mean, right now, I think they were saying almost 90 homes completely to the ground. And these are homes that are on widespread properties. They're not like, side by side to where just massive. And again, people, it doesn't matter whether you have a big home or a little home, whether you're rich or poor, a loss is a loss, and it hurts. And I can't even imagine. My heart goes out to all these people. I mean, I guess you're better that you're alive but I get it. I mean, nobody wants to lose things, valuables, sentimental things, forget the cars and all that, but the things that aren't replaceable, photos. This thing came out of nowhere and just, you got to go. Nobody anticipated this. It has burned over 15,000 acres, 15,000 acres. It's reached the Pacific Coast Highway, which that's at least 20 miles. It's at least 20 miles. The flames have jumped and gone all the way to the water. It's pretty devastating. They have zero containment right now. They're in day 2, and they have zero containment because the winds are just not giving us a break. Even at night, they're blowing. I had hopes last night, so did Southern California Edison, that after 6 p.m., once the sun goes down, they thought everything was going to just kind of mellow out, at least for the evening, to where they can get a grip on it. But that didn't happen. The wind's been blowing all night, not as much, but a lot. And it was just more than what they could have, what they were anticipating, which led us into more power outages all through the day today. But again, thank God, only a few hours ago, power is up, and we're back in business, baby. I'm making up this show on a Thursday. So thank you for joining me. Really, I do appreciate it. I love doing this, and I love hearing your reactions. Comments, if you decide you're watching, comments, let me know where you are watching from. I mean, not from like YouTube or Facebook. I mean, what city, state, town you're watching from. Just say hello. We're going to turn those phones on in a few minutes, and I'm hoping I'm asking you. I want to know your thoughts tonight on the outcome of the election, okay? Because I can get two people with two different views, and they're both going to look at each other and say, you're crazy. And the other one's going to say, no, you're crazy. We are that divided. There's that much indifference in what's going on today, and it's sad. But we'll get over it, and it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, I think that the people who are in disbelief of what's going on and don't like the outcome of this election are going to have to wait a year or two to see the results of the Avengers. I believe in the Avengers. I do. I think that they're going to trim the fat, going to trim up this government and all this government spending, going to start putting money back in your wallets, start getting groceries down, start getting the energy bills, your air conditioning, your electricity, your heating bills down. Again, I know you don't believe it because I'm seeing these memes that I saw them all day today. And I did have cell phone. I had to, lucky enough, I had that working today. And memes about, your grandmother and grandfather are not going to have Social Security. I mean, all these scare tactics that have been instilled into your minds, fear-based tactics to make you hate the orange man. And I'm sorry, this will be, and I'll leave the rest of all this opinion to the rest of you tonight, but I believe he wants to go down in history as saying he turned the ship around, whether you believe it or not. I don't expect you to, but results, I guess, will prove it. And we're going to have to wait and see, because this is the way it is right now, folks. America has spoken. A bunch of people got off their butts and said enough is enough. It didn't just happen by accident. In fact, we were afraid, it would go the other direction due to shadiness, some shisty stuff going on. But it was overwhelming, and as he named it, too big to rig. And it happened early on. So I guess, somebody's thinking differently, than what you may have. But we're going to turn the phones on in a few minutes and get into that. But the fires, prayers for these people over here in Ventura County. Major loss. But again, thank God no losses of life, I'm pretty sure. But it's a mess. It's a mess over here. It's a mess. And that's basically where that's at. Where else are we at? I don't have a lot tonight. I don't have videos and things I'm not going to play, because we're just going to, after I have one commercial, after that commercial's over, I'm turning the phones on, and I'm going to just sit here and wait until somebody wants to say something, which I hope you do. I think everybody's got something to say. They're saying it on, again, I watch Facebook religiously because everybody talks. In fact, some people talk way too much. There's a few crazy people on there about their personal lives and their relationships and unstable people. And I'm thinking to myself, I really understand why somebody's not wanting to be around you, because you're sound crazy just from reading the shit you're putting out there. Some stuff, look, I love people want to be heard. That's why I do this show. People want to be heard, and I get it. But some stuff, it's like, you're just unstable. I mean, not everybody's got it together. It's like, you may look like you got it together, but the stuff that comes out of your mouth, it's like, holy moly, come on, do you hear yourself? And I could say something, but then they're going to get pissed off and unfriend me, and I'd rather just watch the shit show. Because this is what it's all about. I read the room. I see what people are talking about and what they want to talk about and what's going on in their lives. And then I focus on that and I bring it to this show most of the time. So tonight we're going to open up the phones and we're going to focus on, what are your thoughts about the outcome of the election? Are you for it, or are you deeply against it, and why? Have your why ready, because the problem is everybody starts with the accusations and they can't explain their indifference. I find that very often happening. And then they just get pissed off and go, well, screw you, Peter. You're a friggin' idiot. It's a name calling, man. I'm telling you, I don't read a lot of comments on the show pages, but there's thousands and thousands of them. That's one of the reasons I can't keep up. You can't do it. And I let the comments, the people that make the comments, they comment within themselves and start fighting within themselves and, sticking up for themselves when somebody accuses them. And I have to let it go. But, I got these people, I'm a clown, I'm a freaking idiot. Thank God for you, Peter. God bless you for speaking. You can't please everybody, folks. You can't. But again, I'm doing what I'm doing. I hope you understand. And a lot of times with the short clips, you can't get the full understanding of what we do here at the show unless you watch the whole show. The short clips are short. They leave out some things, and it's the way it is. So a lot of people start commenting with the people that don't know the show. And then they I don't know, some people just got balls and they just attack. And that's cool. Whatever. It's all good. I can live with that. I mean, life goes on. I hope we grow on them. Speaking of growing, before we go to a commercial, please, I need your help. If ever these past few weeks there's been censorship for my YouTubes, my TikToks, it's been these past few weeks. They just step on me and crunch everything I put out. And the reason I know is because you can't get thousands of views or tens of thousands of views and then all of a sudden you get 2. It doesn't make sense. But they step on me. I even made comments on somebody else's comment on somebody else's page criticizing something, and the minute it had a little bit of, and I don't say negativity, it was just my opinion, they took it off. I mean, it wasn't 20 seconds I get a notification. It's like your comment was removed due to misinformation or hate speech or whatever. It's like, I need your help. I need you to please share these shows and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on the official Peter G Show Facebook page. Follow me everywhere you can, because we need to grow together. Okay. If you're a fan, if you're liking, you're saying, okay, he's not that bad. You know what? You got to get used to him, but some days it's really good. Please. And don't forget, I'm really happy with the audio podcast. The audio podcasts are doing really well. Life is busy. I don't expect everybody to be able to sit for an hour plus and watch this show. I love for you to do, and I do have people that do it. But the next best thing to be in there is Googling Peter G Show podcast. Put an earbud in your ear when you're driving in the car. I know life is busy. I mean, it's hard to sit down in one place and do things. Driving in the car, you're getting exercise, you're going to the gym, you're at work. You can put an earbud in your ear, you're at work. All right? Google Peter G Show podcast, and you get the audio version of all these shows. There's over 400 of these shows. Again, if you missed it, a lot of people go, "Oh, I'm Peter, man, I missed your live show." It's like, hey, you can listen to it anytime after it's over. Within an hour or two when the show's over, it gets uploaded to even more places, especially the audio podcast version, and you can take the show and listen to it while you're driving to work. People got commutes that are 30, 40 minutes, an hour to work, sitting in traffic. Listen to something good. Right here. Hang on. Oh. Ooh. Smooth. But the audio podcasts, all right? Please. Audio podcasts are doing really good. But I love when you watch the show. I love the people that take the time to watch the show, too. I know it takes a lot of effort and energy. You got to want to watch. But then again, it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. So I'd watch too. Hell, I don't know what's going to happen. That's why I'm here. All right. Cool. All right. So again, anybody who's commenting, tell me what state you're in, where you're from, where you're watching from, new fan, new watcher, first time looking in. We're going to open up the phones in a couple of minutes. But first, we're going to hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products and their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in the oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. Clean Start Products. As always, I have 2 words for you. Not as always, I've just recently started, but I do have 2 words for you about the Clean Start products and their DX1 driver. It works. I use it myself. It works. I put one of these little bottles right here. Actually, this is the big bottle because it's for a larger vehicle. It's for a 4-door Super Crew truck that I adore. And it's a higher mileage vehicle that I have. And I put this in a clean oil change, and it lasts the whole oil change. And then I take one of these bottles every time I fill up my tank, and I put this in the tank. It's a 30-gallon tank, and this is only a 8-ounce bottle. Yeah, it's 8. This is only 8 ounces. And oh boy, what's going on here? We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue. You know what? I had problems with Facebook. I'm getting notifications. I hope not. My live shows. Let me finish this. Sorry, get distracted. Anyway, this stuff works. I noticed the difference in my vehicle within about 3 or 4 tanks. I felt that the truck was just much more responsive. It cleaned out everything. Look at this. We're having problems, aren't we? And that's the business page, too, of all pages. So here's what I want you to do. The reason I'm stopping because it's telling me we're having issues, and I don't want to. I want everybody to hear this because this is important stuff. Listen, don't believe me. I want you to go to www.cleanstarproducts, their website. There's a phone number there. Call that number. They want you to call. Because if you have questions, I know you're going to have questions. I had questions. It's like, how does this little bottle make your car, operate better, right? And they'll answer your questions. They'll give you all the answers because they have a product that works and they believe in your products, okay, and their products. And more importantly, if you call the number and talk to them and decide to order, mention to them you saw it on the Peter G Show. They will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. That's right. 5 of these babies for the price of 4. A deal's a deal. In fact, if you have a regular size sedan, 4-door or whatever, this bottle, look at the difference in size. It's just this little bottle right here. Put it into your crankcase, lasts the whole oil change, and then every time you fill up the tank, this little bitty bottle. It's like, how could that be, Peter? It can be. They're that good, right? Again, go to www.cleanstarproducts.com. There's a phone number there. Call that phone number. Talk to them. Ask away on whatever questions you have. And should you decide to order, make sure you mention you saw it on this show because that will get you 5 bottles for the price of 4. All right? Deal. Let's see what's going on here before I get going here. Anya just said, I just shared the YouTube. Well, thank you. Love you. Thank you. Again. Yeah, it's the only way we're going to do it, people. Because I am doing it. I don't pay money to get likes and clicks and all this baloney. It's whatever happens with this show, it's all organic. It's because people truly want to be here. I truly want to be here. But anyway, all right. Let's see. What are we doing now? We are going to... I think we are going to open up the phones, and I'm going to sit here, and I'm not going to... Again, I know. Well, I've always bragged. I don't know if I'm bragging, if that's a good thing or a bad thing, saying I have the greatest lurkers on the internet. People who want to watch. They don't want. They want to call, but they always send me emails saying, "Hey, Peter, you know what? I was going to call you, but I don't know. I just chickened out." It's really not that hard. We're having issues with the Facebook. There it is. Now it's coming on. What the hell is going on here? We're having issues with the official Facebook Peter G Show page, at least so that it says we are. Anyway, whatever happens, happens. Oh, that's what I was saying before we start. Twice it's happened to me in the past month that once the show is over, I go looking for the show on the official Facebook Peter G Show page and one of the other Facebook pages that I have. We have 3. Peter G Show, Peter Gisellis, and Peter G. Gisellis. I have 3 pages. And the shows were gone. Like, they disappeared. I know they went down live, but all of a sudden they were just gone. And I questioned that. But they don't really... Facebook doesn't hassle me that much. So I don't know if they're just having issues, what the deal is, but I've had to re-upload the show and then you lose all the data because a lot of people, as I said, a lot of people like to watch live, and especially from the official Peter G Show page on Facebook. That's probably more than the YouTube, which I wish YouTube was bigger, but again, they throttle me down. So how are you going to watch something if you don't know it exists? And yeah, I'm bitching about it because it bothers me because they're manipulative, and they're manipulating this show amongst other people. It's just censorship. They don't want me talking about things that go against what, their narrative. And this is what's going on. But it's life, and we'll keep going. But either way, that's what's happening. The shows have been disappearing, or they're not processing properly afterwards. I don't know what's going on, but one way or another, that show's going to end up back up on there. I just hate losing the people that were on there and the, wanting to know what's going, how the show did. But that's it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Banners. The number here is 818-259-7983. And that's the number you're going to call and talk to me. I want to know what your feelings are about the outcome of the election. Are you happy? Are you mad as hell? Do you think we're doomed now because the orange man, overwhelmingly just blew the doors in and people voted for him? Or are you happy as hell because you understand that, life just might get a whole lot better with everything that's about to happen? But for those of you, I get it. It's mixed opinions, but that's it. 818-259-7983. I want you to call that number. I don't need a whole lot of calls. I just need somebody who has something to say, somebody who wants to get something off their chest, and tell it to the people on the show. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here just like this. Strike a pose. I got time. Let's see what's going on here. And for some of you, I'm going to say, Jerry, it was amazing. Stay up there. Okay. I got some people. The only way I can see some comments that are comments, speaking of which, if you want to comment on the show and you want me to be able to see it live, I need you to be on the official YouTube Peter G Show page or the official Facebook Peter G Show page. If you're on my other two, like Peter Gisellis or Peter G Gisellis, which I'm glad you're watching, but I can't see your comments. I literally have to have two other phones over here that are on silent, and I'm looking and I'm seeing a couple of things, but I can't really. If you want to share with the world, like what's going on, and here we go. Like, let's see here. Tanya's the only one that's. I'm glad you're jacked up and ready to talk tonight, Tanya. But Tanya says I'm a happy piece of garbage. Okay, but see, she's able to comment live, and I can share it with you because she's on. I think she's watching from YouTube tonight. But that's how she feels. Okay, but if you want to call me, you dial 818-259-7983 and just talk. I mean, nobody can see you. There's nothing to be nervous about. And I thought a lot of people would be jacked up. Now, again, I know the show's not on Wednesday tonight because we're making it up because of the fires and no power. And I just felt I didn't want to let this opportunity pass. And I made sure that we went on with the show tonight a day late. So maybe a lot of people are not aware. I was fortunate enough to try to get out a post to say, hey, we're going on tonight because we couldn't do it yesterday. And I've decided to go through with it. But I want you to call in and just, tell me what you're feeling. It's not that hard. 818-259-7983. As I talked to my daughter today, she's really, family's tough. They're probably the hardest. See, and I can tell I'm having problems with the main page. So that's going to kill a bunch of viewers if the main Facebook page is not working properly live. And we'll get to the bottom of that. But it's Facebook. It's not me. And I'm sorry. If you're missing this on Facebook, I'm sorry, and that's Facebook. I'm going to have to, it's hard. You can't even talk to them, but it's got a big red thing going on, and I don't know what's going on. We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook's end. Yeah, it's an issue on Facebook's end. Possibly the stream was ended or deleted on Facebook. Yeah, you mean like maybe they're taking me down? Who knows? We'll keep trying and let you know if it's resolved. Check Facebook to ensure Well, that's a good thing. I see it. See, this is the thing. No, maybe I don't. You're right, I don't. Anyway, in the meantime, 818-259-7983. I want to check something. I want to check and see if we're even on there. I think I can do that. Please bear with me. Please stand by. Let's go here. And go there. And I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. 818-259-7983. I want to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are. Oh, so I was telling my daughter today. I said, yeah, I'm going to open up the phones. I said, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people wanting to voice their opinions because God knows I'm watching from celebrations to meltdowns on Facebook all day for the past 2 days. And yeah, I believe the live on the Facebook Live. So that's going to cut out a lot because the Facebook crowd is big. Oh, no, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. We keep on moving. It's like a NASCAR race. The race started. We keep on going till we hit the finish line. So while we're waiting for somebody to call in, 818-259-7983. Let me check and make sure that we'll make sure that we are not on any kind of silence or anything like that. So I told my daughter today, I said, yeah, I'm gonna open up the phone lines. I don't really do, I mean, I take it now and then, but I said, this time I'm gonna like open them up for most of the show. And I said, I really probably feel like a lot of people are gonna want to call in tonight because people are enraged. People are depressed. People are, oh, we're doomed. Those are the people that probably won't call because they probably don't, I don't know. Again, they like to bitch, but behind closed, they won't share. They're sharing publicly, but they won't do it acoustically or I don't know how to, you know what I mean. So I don't know what's going on. I'm seeing the show on the main official Facebook Peter G Show page, but it is just starting. So if it's behind and Facebook is just getting it together, they're never going to catch all this. So now I'm relying on YouTubers, LinkedIn people, and the other people from the other two Facebook pages, the normal Facebook pages, to call in. But that's, either way. So I know a lot of people. I know most of the time, basically, when people call into this show, it's the happy people. The people that believed in what they're talking about will call in because they believe in what they're talking about. The naysayers who may disagree with a lot of things I have to say, as much as I want to hear from them, and I really would like to hear from you because I'm hoping maybe you'll enlighten me to figure out maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Help me understand. Let's explain it to everybody. Let's explain it to everybody. But at least let's hear your opinion. Why you feel like it. See, that's the problem. I get the how do I put this? Everybody pushes a statement out there. They'll push like what they think there's, they put a statement out and they put out these memes. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. Hi, everyone. Life with Peter G. Who's this?
Hey, this is Jimmy. Let me put you on my speakerphone so I can hear you better.
Okay, but just make sure. Okay, I hope it don't echo. I hope it doesn't.
Let's see. Something's happening here.
Hopefully, it won't echo backwards.
Yeah, I was just letting you know that the Facebook it is working on my end, and then I just switched over to YouTube, but I didn't went back to Facebook, and I could tell it's lagging just a little bit on Facebook.
Well, they're always going to lag. There's an 8-second delay, but the thing is, I have 3 Facebook pages, and
okay.
And I was just getting notifications that the official Peter G Show page on Facebook was not working properly, at least from my what do I call the system that we use. And so I don't know. Once I'm live, that's the problem with live. It's whatever the hell happens. It's like it's like doing a live show. Well, it is doing a live show. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, even live shows. Like if you look at the ABCs or anybody who does a major network show, they're live with a studio audience, but they're shooting 4 hours prior to it airing to television, and then they fix whatever's wrong with they edit down if they go over time. I can't. I'm just like, well, here, if shit hits the fan. Please enjoy my, shit show, whatever. Anyway, I appreciate you calling. What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing. Just excited about the whole election. I stayed up to the very end there, and my girlfriend fell asleep, and then I remember cheering really and waking her up. She thought something crazy was going on in the house. And she was like, "What's going on?" So anyways, amazing to me that Fox News called it before the Associated Press did, and then slowly but surely watching all the other networks come in. And then today, like I put in the post this minute ago, like hours ago, I just looked at the detailed map of it, not just where, what states were blue and what were red, but like the detailed counties and all that. Yeah. I was very shocked how red California was.
Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, California, where I live, they have 3,000 car and truck Trump parades every Sunday. That was going on over here. The only real blue parts of California, because California is a big state, but the cities, which are heavily, congested, they have a lot of people. So the cities of like LA and San Francisco are the ones that have ruined all this, but California is a lot red, and it's gotten even redder this past time around.
Amazing. Because when you don't see all that much unless you're just following certain people, but I still didn't see a lot of that. Wasn't expecting that in California, even though I did notice that his I would see little sections of California where they were doing what you were just talking about. Yeah. And that was amazing. And then, and then the whole thing with Newsom allowing the immigrants, illegal immigrants to cast votes. I thought that was crazy. I thought, man.
It's a mess over. Look, unfortunately, even though there's a lot of people who, and I don't, let me make this clear because I catch hell from people. I could care less about red or blue, but unfortunately, this is what we have choices in. I'm more about common sense, and I was a Democrat. I'll say it a million times. I was a Democrat, for most of my life. But when I see stuff going wrong and things going awry, that's like taking your car to a mechanic that constantly screws your car up. He used to be good, and all of a sudden you've been taking it there for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and like it's always been a hassle, and things are just getting worse, and it's costing you more to fix, and it doesn't get fixed, and you have to keep on going back. Well, then if you keep going, it's like shame on you. You need a new mechanic, and that's what's happening.
Right, I agree, and I feel the same way. It wasn't about red or blue to me. It was about saving our country, because I really felt that we were fixing to lose our country. I just couldn't believe. Every day you turn on the news thinking that, there's nothing that can shock me more than what's going on, and then being surprised almost daily. Unbelievable. The apartment complexes up north by the Venezuelan gangs that were being taken over. When has that happened in the U.S. ever?
Yeah, it's sad.
It was just incredible every single day. And being on the edge of the seat watching the election thinking, oh my God, there's a good chance, there's this chance that that's going to go into the days and they're going to figure something out or something's going to happen. It just unbelievable. I'm just like completely, I feel like there's a possibility we can sleep. I know there's 72 days still left, which is scary.
Yeah.
It ain't
over. It ain't over.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
I just seen something. I just heard something about Trump just recently having a meeting with Flynn and then putting this plan in on getting the sex trafficking children, collecting them, and then hitting all the people that were bringing them over to this country and going from the ground up, which hoping they'll fold and then they'll be able to work their way up to the top of that, and then actually throwing that on the news to where everybody sees it, So that's, that was amazing.
There's our problem right there. Again, okay, where are you calling from, Jimmy?
Pensacola.
Oh, God bless you. Is this the Jimmy I know?
Yeah, Jimmy Cross,
Okay.
Cadillac Attack.
Oh, wow. All right. Sorry. It comes up differently over here and I can't tell.
No, that's fine.
And you didn't say much of nothing. And a lot of people go, you know who I am. It's like, well, yeah.
No.
Okay. But so, all right. Well, hey, man. So here's the thing. The biggest problem we have now. Okay. Now that I know where you're calling from, and I know that I can guarantee that we know people over there that are completely, that and love over there, that are completely looking at you going, screw you, man, you're crazy.
Right, exactly.
And
you're right.
It's sad. It just saddens me. In fact, I was looking, because usually, like, when a defeat like this, because let's face it, the people have spoken. I mean, they called it. I thought it was going to take days to figure out, because I thought some shiesty shit was going to go on, but they called it, before it was even midnight over here in California. And, I mean, it wasn't official, but it was mathematically impossible for him to lose. And, when people see, when your team loses, all of a sudden things get quiet. But now I'm starting to see people emerge in the area that we live, and you're starting to really, and they're like, screw that, I'll never give up, and, they're just fighting for what they believe in. But you talked about the news. I think the media is the number one instigator. They have gone so, propaganda commercial, machine, that this is the problem. How are you going to change somebody's mind when they watch it on TV?
And some people that are freaking out, there's some that I work with and stuff, and instead of being upset, I was really feeling sorry for them, in the sense that they had been brainwashed so much that they really believe that Trump is Hitler and he's going to take over and he's going to, become this monster,
Yeah.
And it's like, and they truly believe that. They're crying.
They're having meltdowns. Therapists are going to make a fortune for the next 2 years, if people can afford them.
Exactly.
I'm going to have a great show for the next few years.
Oh my gosh. And I did get to wonder about some of the conservative shows and stuff I watch. I'm like, well, gosh, if there's not that much to report on anymore, are they going to lose this and this? Because everybody was like, you can see all the platforms were growing and growing and growing.
Sure.
Because I wanted someone to connect with. They wanted to feel like someone was on their side.
Yeah. It's been a tough, tough thing. I mean, I never thought I'd be talking about this stuff. I swore when I started years ago that I said no religion, no politics, but I felt it was my duty, because I felt so strongly, because I was lucky enough to figure it out through the help of a few friends that, just got me thinking differently. And then I looked into it and I go, damn, you're right. And then I got involved, but I long for getting back to, I want to get back to guests of all types, talking about all types of things, but this is important.
Right,
this is important.
Yeah,
at least once a month, once it all calms down, if it ever calms down.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's not completely over with yet. And
oh no,
it's not going to be for a long shot.
Oh yeah,
but it does feel better. It feels a little bit better that that things are going to.
I'm thinking it's going to be about 2 years to get some of your closest friends that think you're crazy to come to the understanding that, like, well, wow, maybe this isn't what I thought it is, because, you can't expect, although this man isn't going to sleep. I know he's not going to sleep, and he's going to be hell on all the people working for him, because he's not going to sleep to get, exactly. I mean, he said within a year, and people are going to, the news is going to hold them to this. He said within a year, once he takes office, he's going to bring down energy bills, your heating bills, your cooling, all that shit down 50, not 15%, 50%. That's a hell of a statement right there.
I remember watching an interview with Tulsi Gabbard, and she was just like, she goes, I really, I heard about his work ethics and all this stuff, but she was just blown away. Like he was nonstop.
I'm sure.
They're like, we can't. We're in.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in better shape and I can't even keep up with.
I'm sure he's really hard to work with because he's tough, but it's business, and he looks. It's business. I mean, he could sit there and cuss you out, and then but still be your friend. And a lot of people can't take that. I know it's hell for me. I'm a little more sensitive. I don't like being bitched at, and then you go, "Hey, buddy, just business." It's like fuck you.
It reminds me sort of what you just said. Like when I was a kid, I had a job working in at Kmart as a stock boy, and it was like maybe my second job or whatever. And I was lucky to have parents. I mean, I come from divorced parents, but both of my parents had great work ethics, and I got that from both of them. Now, my dad was more of a conservative guy. My mom was more of the Woodstock hippie chick, but she was a worker though. She was like she had great work ethics and she busted her ass. And so I was lucky to get that from them. That's what I feel like. So I remember like going in even as a kid, and I could, I would be doing stock and I would just stay busy. And back in those days, things were so different as far as like management. They might come and scream at you, where kids nowadays would just freak out if that happened.
Start crying.
And some of the kids freaked out then, but not like, but I was like, oh, well, I didn't do it right. I didn't do it again, and I would just work. And then I would see all these other kids like hiding, and I'm thinking, man, it's taking so much effort for you to hide. If you just would just do your job, the time will be over before you know it, and you'll be gone. And I just never understood that mentality with people. And so I know, you can get your feelings hurt every once in a while. But I remember building an end on like an aisle in Kmart, and the man was going, "What the hell is this?" Knocking it over. And I'm going, "Oh, okay, well, let me build it right."
It's different different times, and we've raised a bunch of pansies now, and everybody needs a cry room and a time, and mental health days, and I good luck trying to fix that. But the thing is, I know that him going in now, I mean, putting guys like, as crazy as it might sound, but guys like Elon Musk to go and trim the fat off of the government, because we have way too much government. We got administrations within administrations, and they're all making a ton of money, doing documentaries or studies on the inchworm, things like that. And it's just all our tax dollars. So I'm thinking that, within the first 2 years, we're going to see tremendous, that even these people that think or were, conditioned to believe on how horrible he is. And I can't blame these people, because if you watch that TV and listen to it every day, they pound it into your brain. And, if you didn't know better, that's what's going to happen. And it did to a lot of people. They bought in. Hate it.
Well, I for years, since the 90s, I'd watched, which is not popular with a lot of people, but I'd watch shows like Alex Jones and all of them. And at first I always thought, oh man, that's insane, crazy. That's, but it was very entertaining. But then over the years, watching the majority of things that were being said there and reported there come to pass. And I'm like, wow, holy crap, just to try to tell someone something like that, they would.
It does. It's hard. And I wasn't. I thought about it, and because again, I think about this stuff a lot, and then it's whether I remember to talk about it when I'm on the show. But for most of my growing up years, I hated the election cycles and 2 years of all this stuff, and it was because my life it really didn't concern me. At least you didn't feel it. But we have gotten so bad. I mean, you have to care, because your life is depending on it. Now, even though the other side thinks that, going this way, all our lives are depending on it. But I just think not only is the Orange Man going to make the United States better, he's going to make the whole world better, because he's going to set a bunch of stuff straight. What do you feel? I hate to say that, I know what you feel, but the WEF, the World Economics Forum, right. these rich blowhards self-nominating themselves to tell us what to do. They're going to get disassembled because of this.
Yeah, and what blew my mind is back, in the days where it was being against the man and all that stuff, and then the hippie movement and all that kind of stuff, where they were brainwashed into trusting the government all of a sudden. You know, they never trust the government, but now they trust the government.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it's it's amazing.
I never
Amazing.
paid that much attention, but now I have, and only, again, I say this every time, but about the third quarter of Obama, I finally came around because I actually bought into it. He was a smooth speaker, and I didn't really care. Again, I was busy. I was touring. I mean, we're talking in the, you know, from the mid '90s to 2000 to 2012 or 13, something like that. I just let things go and go, I don't know. And I remember somebody very close to me looking at me goes, "Oh, I can see you like him." And I can tell that he didn't, but he was cool enough to go, "Listen, man, you need to pay more attention because things are not what they seem." And then it didn't make sense, but little by little, I started at least being aware and looking around, and then all of a sudden, it all came into play. And
well, there's a whole lot of things that even that, like, it was, you know, back in the day, I was a big George Bush fan and stuff because I was a conservative guy back then. But then come to find out that all that was going down with the whole war machine and stuff, and being very disappointed, and that it was like heartbroken when I found out the truth about all this stuff that was going down, you know, with that and the Iraq war and all that stuff, and which being a patriot at the time, going, "Oh no, I'm for this," and, you know, and believing all of the stuff. So to me, it wasn't about black, red, or
exactly.
Blue. It was about, and so I got sucked into that, you know. So it's the same kind of thing, even though it's you know, you were on one end and I was on the other. It's the same thing, you know, and now, and I really honestly believe, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but I really believe that Trump ran on the Republican ticket because you can only win on the Republican or the Democrat ticket. You can't win as an independent. You've never been able to win as an independent. And I think he's more of a libertarian type person. I don't believe
he's going to reach,
you know, and I think because he's changed the whole Republican.
Oh, he's changed it, and it's going to be more, and it's going to be for the better. We don't understand it now for a lot of the people who are anti-Orange Man, but at the end of the day, you know, I know his ego is so big, and I don't care about that. And I'm glad he wants to go down in history as the greatest. So he's going to give it.
Well, you know, and I didn't vote for him because he was a politician. I voted for him because he was a businessman. You know?
No.
And you know, and you've seen how he and there were no wars when he was president. You know, and then he ended up getting respect from all of the leaders back then.
They feared him because he meant what he said. You know, there wasn't all this.
And I even heard something this morning about Putin making a comment saying that, you know, well, if Trump wants this war to end, and maybe you know, the only way I can see it ending is if he lets me have one, or if I get 1/5 of Ukraine or whatever. And I'm thinking, to keep from billions of people and you know, in Ukraine, knowing that we're not going to be funneling money to them anymore, then maybe possibly that's an idea.
Well,
you know,
look,
I don't know. I'm not as educated on that as much.
They're all making plans right now. All these issues, everybody knows he's getting ready to come back in office, and he's going to start on day one doing a million things. And they know that they got to start straightening up, or you don't want him on your wrong side. And already I saw today, they're trying to funnel another $8 billion to Ukraine before Trump takes office, because these warmongers, the ones that make this flying here, son of a gun, these warmongers that make all the money selling weapons, you know, the Cheneys, the Halliburtons, and the Raytheons, and all these people. That's why war makes a lot of people money. They want to get their last bit before it all ends, because they know he's going to end it. He's going to end it all. We're not going to have wars. But it's just
totally agree.
Well, again, but you know, he's being portrayed as the devil because they didn't want a businessman in the office. They wanted a politician, one who says one thing and does another, and makes it look like, you know, somebody else's fault. And that way they can all line their pockets with the Green New Deal, and all their buddies get the contracts. They make gazillion dollars making crap that doesn't work, spending that money, your money. Sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Well,
and, you know, and I think thank God for the internet, because or actually Elon Musk single-handedly buying out Twitter and making it X, or a lot of this stuff. I mean, I really think seriously, X had a lot to do with people finding out information.
See, I still find things out. I can still find decent information, even, believe it or not, off of TikTok, which they censor the shit out of me and shut me down. But yeah, he reshaped. You saw how he bought X or Twitter, and then he cut it in half. I mean, he got rid of half the damn people and made it work.
Right.
That's what he's going to do with our government, and I love it. I friggin' love it. I mean, they call this team of people that they're going to put together are going to be, knowledgeable, sensible people who are going to, just trim the fat. The border. They're
very curious if how soon the Epstein list will get released, and
that's another thing. They don't.
What's going to happen with that? That's going to be a very interesting situation when that happens.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. Again, because Trump doesn't care, and I used to get, and in fact, there's somebody from your area, and that would come onto my pages, and he was a cut and paste guy, and he'd cut and paste this nonsense. It's like Trump was on Epstein's plane 43 times, and in the 90s they raped a 13-year-old together. I mean, all this crap, just crap.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I just let him speak, but I'm going, this guy's just stupid. You can't be that stupid, but he bought into it, and I let it go. But the thing is, he's going to let that list go because the one thing they can't get on him is he didn't do all these things they said he's done, and it's that simple. But
right,
they've been conditioned to believe when you paint a person and they ran him through all these, and he's been convicted and he's a felon. It's like all on false pretenses, nonsense, and changing the rules to put him in jail to keep him from running an office, and that didn't work. So tough. If he was guilty, he would have been guilty. It'd been that simple. I mean, he'd be, he wouldn't have stood a chance, and we wouldn't have all these people backing and sending this message that we want him back. It's that simple. But the government doesn't want him back because it's going to ruin their game. It's like you doing a gig and somebody else coming in and taking your gig from you and a bunch of other gigs from you, and just because they say that you're a piece of crap. So it is what it is. Oh, somebody's watching. I hear my show in the background.
Oh no, I'm going to turn it off because I realize it's it's lagging there.
Yeah, it'll confuse the shit out of you.
I was checking to see if it.
Yeah, it'll confuse the shit.
It's too much of a lag.
Yeah,
anyway.
But anyways, that's what's going on, but again, good luck with the people you have to face. Most of the time, you just don't talk about it. Unfortunately, I want to talk about it because I want to hear why these people feel so strongly. Besides stating the obvious that has been stated through the media on what they think. Let me ask you a question: do you listen to Joe Rogan at all? His podcast?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
I turned that off. I was hoping it would
turn it off. Okay. I'm here all night.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. So
I watched Joe Rogan and I watched the whole entire. I watched the whole 3 hours of Donald Trump, and then when Vance came on, I watched that and was very impressed with Trump and Vance, especially Vance too. I was like, wow, that's very impressed with him.
And did you watch Elon Musk as well?
Yeah. I didn't watch the new Elon Musk. No.
Oh, he's been on before.
Yeah, he's been on before years ago.
Well, it's okay, but I'm telling you, anybody, all these naysayers, anybody out there that happens to still not be hating or listening, if you want to get to know really what's going on, and I don't have the time to get to watch Joe Rogan's full shows because he does, and it's funny because his show is just like this, only he's Joe Rogan and I'm not, and it's in fact more primitive. I mean, I finally started watching him and go, God, he's got a little intro song, but I mean, hell, they take breaks to go pee and then just edit it back in together, and just
right.
But he's Joe Rogan. He gets great guests because he's friggin' Joe Rogan. He's been in the business for a gazillion years. But
right.
I tell anybody now, if you want to really see who the Orange Man is, go watch that interview. If you want to hear who his vice president really is, that they actually can speak and they actually know what they're talking about, go watch the J.D. Vance interview. And then this last Elon Musk, because he had them all on within a week. I mean, and Elon's interesting too. I mean, he changed his mind. So it's
and for Elon, Robert Kennedy, and
Yeah, him too.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah,
For them three to completely change their mind about Trump,
yeah.
I would think that the average person would go, wait a second.
Yeah, what do they see that we don't? But they don't, because they just sit watching CNN and MSNBC and listening to morning joke off. I mean, it's and they believe it, and I get it. I totally get it, because they used to be trustworthy to a certain extent.
I like how Trump calls them MSDOJ or whatever.
MS. Yeah, he does have he has a nickname for everybody. but it's true, and a shame on these people for making all that money, and that's what it's all about, saying whatever they're told to say, and saying it with confidence, because they're lying through their teeth. And one day I hope they pay the price for it, because it's just shameful how you're selling out your country and aiding to your country going down the tubes, and spewing this nonsense to people, and they truly believe it. It's just sad. Even Fox, I question a lot of stuff. They flip-flop a lot. There's very few people I trust.
And they do, and I know they do. And but I believe that Fox is owned by these liberal guys.
Yeah, Murdoch. What's his name? Yeah. So they that's why they got rid of Tucker Carlson. I mean, Tucker Carlson wasn't putting up with it, and he'd go way more overboard.
And he's another one that got on board.
He'll be in there somewhere. I heard rumor about that they want him for the press secretary. That'd be interesting.
It's like all the superpower.
The Avengers,
Batman and Superman, and everybody get together.
The Avengers. They already got pictures. They already got
Avengers. Yeah.
Look around. There's already pictures going around with Trump in the front, and then they all like a pyramid behind them. It's going to be really interesting. I truly believe these are all people that really care. And it's not about the rich, like they've been programmed to believe, that the biggest deal they're going to make is by making everybody's lives better. But unfortunately, we're so screwed right now that it's going to be real difficult. It's going to take a little time, but he ain't going to sleep. I'm telling you, he ain't going to sleep. Day one, these people better have some superpowers to have the energy to keep up, because he don't sleep as it is. He ran he was in 4 states a day, or doing 4 rallies a day. I mean, and they talk about, well, he's too old and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, good, try to keep up with him. He's pretty sharp.
Well, one of the things I saw that was happening is these guys were taking the game plan that the Democrats have always done, where they did the ground game. And my brain just fried here. In Pennsylvania, they had three guys up there, and I was watching it through this one guy I followed named Steve Turley, and he was talking to these guys, and each one of them had like crowdfunding things where people were funding the money, and they were hiring guys, and it cost them like $175 a day, but they were going for months and doing door-to-door knocking, and each one of these guys ended up getting over 300,000 doors knocked on a piece.
Yeah.
And half of and a lot of these guys would have voted for Trump, or conservative guys or whatever, they just weren't registered to vote, or weren't going to vote, or whatever, and they got these guys to vote, and they were just busting ass.
There's a lot of people that don't
vote. It
was
amazing. It was very inspiring when I saw that. I was like, wow.
There's a lot of people that don't vote, that bitch about. I mean, I get it. I kind of get it. And they have their opinions, and they like either one or the other, but they just don't vote. And and I have my daughter. I pushed for her to get registered this year because she turned 18, and I said, you got to vote. I go, this is going to be historic, and this has to do with your future. And so she did. But I never used to think so much. But look, again, you're never the biggest problem I have is now I just really feel bad, because there's so many people that I know and love very much that are so against this whole they think that we're doomed now, that we just there's 80 million people that just believe the bullshit from the orange man, and we just don't
and I'm in the same boat too, because I'm like you, I'm a musician, and I play around all over, and me and Todd always were like, one thing we're not going to do is make our stage political, and
that's what I said.
Isolate half of our audience and stuff.
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
That's what they told me.
But I would listen, And I would listen, and then if someone, then I would have some debates with some friends. But if it got to where they were losing their minds, which would really freak me out, and what I've noticed, and this is probably going to piss a bunch of people off, but most of my hardcore liberal friends, it's almost like they had the same mindset. I mean, even one little thing that I might have said that was against what they believed, that they would not just say it calmly. They would scream and just get out of their minds, And I was like, wow, really? I mean, and I told them, I said, is it that? And I would tell them, is it that important for you to feel like you're right? Okay, all right. I said, we can talk about music, but I said, unless we're going to keep doing this, I'm just, I stopped with the politics. It was no getting through.
No, I get it. Nobody wants to be wrong, but unfortunately, it's going to go one way or the other. And you feel like you feel, they feel like they feel, and they truly do. Because again, I never believe in brainwashing, but it actually exists. But you can't tell somebody that they're brainwashed because they're brainwashed. So how are they supposed to figure it out? You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So it sucks. What the hell is going on here? I'm watching. I think my live stuff is just, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Well, hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering. I appreciate talking to you, man. I got to get going real quick, but
it's okay. I haven't spoken to you in a long time. Let me ask you a question. If I'm in town, do I get to still sit in?
Oh man, you always are welcome, no matter where we're playing. You don't even have to ask. Just show up.
Careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish.
Just show up.
All right. Well,
yeah, so for all your audience here, he's played with Cadillac Attack. I mean, not that we're nobody, but
that's right.
But that's been fun though, man. It was fun the times you played with us, man.
I got my Cadillac Attack on. I probably have to listen to you one time around to catch up on what you're doing nowadays. But I only need one round of listening, and then I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, brother. I appreciate you calling in and filling. Just at least somebody talking. Again, I got the shyest audience in the world, and I'm a day late because of all the problems we have with fires out here. But better late than never. It's all about.
Well, hey, prayers to everybody in California with the fire situation, man. I mean, that's terrible, and hopefully things get better there soon.
Yeah. All right. There you go. That's all we can do. All right, brother. Thank you for calling. I'll talk to you soon. Yep. Love you.
Later.
See you later.
You too.
What is going on here? I think we're still having issues with the official Facebook Peter G Show page. Yeah, I think we still are. Let's see what's going on here. What does Patricia say? I think my garbage tonight is all tied up with the most beautiful orange tie. Love it. Well, that's good. Everybody's tying up their garbage in orange, or themselves. It's good to be alive. Anyway, all right, 818-259-7983. Well, God, time flies. I spent a bunch of time with Jimmy that just called because he had something to say. And I know a lot of people have something to say, but I'm sitting here going, again, we're having Facebook issues. Now I'm going to have to see what the hell's going on Facebook. This sucks because that's the main official Peter G Show page that is not gone live right now. And I feel bad about that. There's nothing I can do. It's beyond my control. Just glad to be here. So anyway, we'll post it back up on Facebook when the show's over, and just more stuff to do. But anyway, 818-259-7983. If you got something you want to get off your chest, I just got notified I am live on Facebook. Let me see. Tanya's watching. That's good, Tanya. Jimmy, let's see. Tanya says, what? Jimmy, let me know when Peter sits in. Well, Peter's got to know when Peter sits in. Time just flies. I have all intentions of doing a lot of things when I get in town, and then life takes over, and I don't get to do a lot of things because I got priorities. I don't spend as much time there, but again, things are changing. But when the time comes, believe me, it won't be nothing. It won't be nothing that special, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I always have fun. 818-259-7983. I'll take one more call, then we'll get the hell out of here. I mean, I'm just glad that we got to do the show tonight. Believe me, next week we'll be at it again. I almost pulled the plug and was going to say, you know what, we'll just have to wait till next week. But fortunately, last minute the power came on, so we decided we're going through with it. But it's tough. Let me switch over here. Okay. It's just sad that you got these Jimmy Kimmels and your Stephen Colbert's, these people, that these talk show hosts that are backed by a gazillion dollars per show, and they can't tell the truth. They add to the flames because that they're paid to do that. And who would have thought that, it used to be late night entertainment was entertaining. And for some people, I guess, because if they have that mentality and that mindset, talk more about, doom and gloom and bad orange man, and we're right there. Everybody wants to pat everybody on the shoulders. I'm not really necessarily that. I feel what's right. God, I'm so pissed that the Facebook page is down. But I don't know. We'll fix it. It just bugs me because you work hard at things and you want your show to go out because you work hard at things, but it's just the way it is. I'm a professional. I'll rise above it. Sit for 2 days. It was weird because like last night, just you don't realize how the area where I live. It's not like big city, and you don't realize how dark it is out until there's no lights. I mean, no lights. Even it was a crescent moon, but it didn't do much light, and and so I'm outside, and I mean, you can't even see where you're walking, and it was weird. It's been a while since we had that. It's funny because California, they wanted to mandate all these electric cars and all this crap. Again, California's just going to hell. Newsom, our governor, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of paying all the money for nothing. We got great weather, but they're trying to figure out a way how to charge us for that too. It's just nonsense. But let's see here. I think it's going to be 6 months to a year before we can actually see some benefits. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to get things in motion, but I'm talking for the people that are really angry, for them, because again, they don't want to see it, because if they did, they'd already see the difference in people. Like, it's saying that the guy's Hitler. It's like, if he was so bad, he would have been so bad the first time around. But then again, they were fighting him tooth and nail then too, because the propaganda machine was just downing him and kicking him every day, every step of the way. And the man was still getting stuff done. But again, I am not. You got to make your own decisions. This is what freedom's all about. And I don't expect anybody to think the way I think, and you probably don't want to, or it's scary in there, believe me. But I do think about all this stuff. And it's going to take a couple of years, I think, to really full speed ahead, because they're going to fight him all the way through. We touched on that when Jimmy was on the phone, but let's see if he can actually get certified as president first. The people who made such a big stink about stuff, I know they're not going to go down. If it does, I'm going to be shocked, because there's people in this Congress, that Jamie Ratkin and all these guys, they're getting ready to lose their business. They're all lining their pockets. I'm glad that we're going to take over the House and the Senate. Get some fresh blood in there. Because these are people that they don't make the money they make for being a public servant is nothing compared to what they make with the lobbyists. All these people paying them money on the side, putting it in their pocket to like, hey, let's get this through the budget. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? That's where they're making their money. It's just shiesty. It's just not right. We've lost. And they're supposed to be our managers for the country, like these people who represent your areas. Adam Schiff, this is what I forgot to tell Jimmy. California is very red for the most part, but it didn't take no time before they called it for California that she won the presidency for in California. And Adam Schiff, this one congressman from Burbank, California, and he's one of the worst. He's one of the most lionist, worst. Him, Adam, our governor, and Nancy Pelosi, all them. And then you got, what's his name, Chuck Schumer in New York. Those three, and forget Newsom because he's the governor, but in Congress with Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Adam Schiff did the most damage to this country, sending all that money to Ukraine, and they were getting money funneled back. Nancy Pelosi makes her husband makes all these great stock picks. And they've made $200 million on stocks when she was, in Congress, and she's still making money because they know everything that's going to happen because they're causing it to happen. That there got to be a law against this. There's got to be a law against this. And Adam Schiff, they call him Shifty Shift. He needs a. I don't even want to get started. But he won. You know, Steve Garvey, the retired baseball player. I don't know if you ever heard of him. I think he was a Dodger. He was running Republican, and I really wanted him to go in just to get him out of there. And it didn't happen. There's still people that are going to pay because they don't want to lose their business. And I get it. They're protecting their own because they're making a ton of money. But we're going to get the House, the Senate, the popularity, the everything, and start changing business. And you might be mad now, but you're going to understand down the road. I truly believe it because they're on a mission. This is good for the world, not let alone the United States. 818, last chance. 818-259-7983. I told you. I don't know. I truly believe because of the Facebook problem that takes out YouTube. I love the people who are watching from YouTube, but there's not nearly as many people that watch from YouTube because YouTube, these guys are making it very difficult for me to be seen by your average person scanning YouTube. So it's hard. But the Facebook people, I know because I get 10 times as many on the official Peter G Show page. And all of a sudden, the official Peter G Show Facebook page is having trouble again. Let's see, or just I'm going to have to maybe remove it and re-add it or something like that. Something is very wrong. But I'll get on that. And in fact, I'll make a note, but I'll get on that. I apologize, people. I love you. I love these people for watching, but that's what it is. 818-259-7983. Anything else on since the phone isn't ringing? Yeah, there's going to be a big need for therapists over the next few years. If you're a therapist, you're going to have to, because these people truly believe the world is over now. And, it just goes to show you. And again, Jeff made a point that people just are pansies nowadays. The youth that are growing up, they just can't handle anything. They can't handle anything. And everything is a catastrophe, and the world is, sky is falling, and screw it, man. This is going to be good. It's going to be good for everybody, whether you know it or not. You might not know at a time. My parents, we moved from Connecticut when I was 15 years old, and and you have your friends and all that kind of stuff. But I hung around with let's just say not the greatest choice in people to hang around with, and they were older than me too. Most of them were. But I didn't have any brothers or sisters or anything like that. So they kind of I don't want to say it wasn't a gang, but I hung out with a group of people, and they weren't they weren't like mean people, but they were it was just a rough crowd. And my father saw that, and my mother, and we moved. They wanted to move anyway, but the thing is, they took me out of my element, and I was pissed because I'm leaving my friends. But in the long run, I guess I have a lot to be thankful for because a lot of them ended up either dead or in jail. And I talked to a lot of people that I still know because I grew up till I was 15 over there. We all went. I lived in a town that you all went to the same elementary school, the same junior high, the same high school because that's the way it was. It wasn't all this integrated busing and all that back then. And then there was the older ones that 2, 3, 4 years older than me, people I hung around with, and I was pissed. But I still now through Facebook still see people that live in that area, and they still live in that area. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm grateful to have grown up over there because my father said when we moved to Florida, I was light years ahead of them in street smarts. I mean, it was just a night and day difference because I grew up in a little more advanced of maybe it wasn't good, but it was good in a way. My point being is that my parents knew. And they saved me, possibly. Who knows? But they, took me out of that element and my gears shifted. I started meeting other people. I started focusing more on my music, which and pursued it. But all because they took me out of the possibility of me going down the wrong road and ending up getting in trouble like some of my friends did. And they were good friends to me. I mean, they looked out for me. They protected me at times. But it was a rough crowd. I'll never forget it, but I also know that I possibly could have ended up like them, and you just don't know. So you as a parent, you do what you feel is best, even though it might not be what you like. This is what's going on in our country right now. There's things going on that are what's best for not only the country, but the world, even though you are dead straight positive, this is bullshit and we're going down the wrong path. All I can say is, we'll see. We'll see. You're going to have to give it some time now. And I'll keep doing these things and hope that you'll still stick with me and pay attention. And so we can talk about it down the road. You know, I'd love to look, if I'm wrong, I'll flat out tell you, because I've been wrong before. But this is overwhelming. And I do a lot of homework. I have to. It's my job now. And we'll see. I will continue this. All right, last call. 818-259-7983. I don't want to kick a dead horse, but I got the point across. I just want to touch base after the election. I truly believe, and especially with Facebook, the official Facebook show not functioning properly, I'm not going to worry. And plus we're a day over, and a lot of people figure, I like to be very consistent every Wednesday, like clockwork. Oh, Peter's, it's Wednesday. I'm not going to watch this. I'm going to give him a shot, and we're going to watch him. I love that consistency. I'm consistent, but it's hard. And we had to skip yesterday due to the electrical Southern California Edison shutting all the power down for miles. I mean, tens of miles because of these winds and fires. But I'm here now, and I just wanted to put something out. And then again, I'll be back next week. And I'm going to be talking about this stuff throughout the year. We're not done because I want to see a good transition. I want to see everybody just lighten up. All I can say is to sum it up. I don't care if you hate him. If he was going to do things, he would have did it the first time. Okay? So we didn't die the first time. You're not going to die the second time. This big thing is, and it really bothers me, and I want to bring it up real quick, because after the first of the year, this Biden administration borrowed, and I played it last week, the Biden administration borrowed so much money out of out of Medicare, that we're not going to be able to pay it back. And it's going to be a problem. And and people on Medicare and Medicaid and all that kind of stuff, they're paying whatever they have to pay every month. It's going to triple. It's going to triple. Let me just play this because this is important, because I don't want to hear people blaming this on him, on the Orange Man, because this was done by the Biden administration. Just like they borrowed money from FEMA to support all these illegal immigrants, they did the same thing basically from Medicare. And here, you check this out.
We are coming into the final days of the 2024 election, and there is one.
That's not the one I wanted to play. Dude, every show I'm doing one bad. Let me see. I tried to save it, and I hope I did, because... Oh, here we go. Sorry, Medicare.
Every single person that's on Medicare right now is fucked after the election. And I'm going to be real with you. The Biden-Harris administration fucked you so hard, I don't even know if electing Trump can save you. Let me explain. So the Biden-Harris administration is currently under investigation for violation of the Hatch Act. Now, I recognize a lot of you don't know what that is, but at its most basic, the Hatch Act prohibits political activity conducted in an official capacity. Now, in this particular situation, what they're investigating the Biden-Harris administration for is that they are inappropriately using taxpayer funds to mask defective Medicare Part D policies. These are policies that would increase the taxpayer burden from $30 per month to $142 next year. This is what's going to happen to your monthly cost for Medicare. Now, the reason they're being investigated for violations of the Hatch Act is that should have already kicked in, because the Biden-Harris administration took $230 billion from Medicare to fund the EV tax credits. And then when the seniors' premiums started spiking, the Biden-Harris administration took more money to pay off insurers to delay price hikes until after the election. So basically, the Biden-Harris administration fucked up. They raided $320 billion from Medicare to pay for their EV tax. And the result from that was Medicare premiums were going to spike. So what the Biden-Harris administration did was take money from other things and pay it into Medicare to try to keep the prices down. But they are only putting enough money in to keep the prices down until after November 5th. That's why they're being investigated under the Hatch Act, because they are inappropriately using funds that are not meant for this, and they are paying it into Medicare to cover up their own mistake, and they are only covering it up until after November 5th. Because in all reality, all of your Medicare premiums should have gone through the fucking roof. Your monthly Medicare premiums should have almost increased by 5 times. But the Biden-Harris administration is hiding that price increase until after the election. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to be a really hard thing to fix. Now, the Biden-Harris administration doesn't care about actually fixing it because they're just going to blame the drug companies or the hospitals or the insurers. But in reality, there's no way around this. Like those of you on Medicare, your monthly payments next year are going to go through the fucking roof. And it's all because the Biden-Harris administration fucked up and robbed $230 billion from you. Also, they could pay for those EV tax credits. And like I said, I don't even know what Trump can do to fix what Biden and Harris fucked up. Yeah, those of you on Medicare are fucked. You need to be ready to pay 4 to 5 times what you're currently paying. The Biden-Harris administration hadn't worked to cover this up until the election. And let's be honest, if you have a choice in this election, do you want to vote for the guy that might be able to fix it? Or do you want to vote for the people that fucked it up and are now trying to cover it up until after November 5th? I mean, decision's yours.
That's right. The decision's yours. So just remember that. I wanted to play that one more time because I promise you, again, the news, till he fixes the news media and gets everybody to start straightening up, they're going to keep on blaming him. They're going to keep on kicking him. He's going to have to fight the fight, which he can, and he's going to have an even bigger team that is going to know how to get it done this time. As he said, the first time he was in office, he trusted people to refer him to people to lean on, and he made a lot of mistakes leaning on these people because they were bad people, because he didn't know who was bad, who wasn't. Now he knows who's bad and who isn't, and he's bringing in the right people. So it's going to be a different ball game, and they know they know it. Before I close up, I want to talk about just a couple of quick little things here still about this. I spoke to a singer that I used to work with from Scandinavia. He was pretty popular. He's pretty popular over there. And I haven't talked to him in quite a while. And we spoke this past week. And I'm trying to pick his brain about what he sees over there. And unfortunately, he sees basically the same thing over there that you see over here, the news putting fear. Because every time he would say something to me, he'd say, yeah, I know. He says, but what really scares me about Trump, or what really scares me, and he kept using that, what really scares me. And this is my point I guess I want to make. Fear tactics. They've used fear by scaring you, telling you these horrific things that are going to happen. That's how they get you to believe, out of fear. Stop with the fear. There's nothing to fear anymore. There never was. You got to just stop and just breathe and start paying attention to what good is going to be happening, or just at least give it a shot. Open your mind and stop attaboying with the people that are writing the same crap that comes from CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CBS. They're all in the same bed to discredit the Orange Man. But he's unstoppable now. They won't be able to. I still believe his life is always going to be in danger because, again, he's screwing up. He's going to screw up everybody who's been lining their pockets. Do you understand? It's all about the money for them. They don't care about you. He's going to make a difference. I'm going to put that out, and I will formally apologize to everyone if we come out of these next 4 years and things didn't get turned around. Because I know he's going to do it. He's putting a lot of strong people in place. He's going to. And it's not only going to be him. It's going to be all these people who actually have their act together that can get stuff done. I saw a picture side by side of the administrator of what do they call it? The Secretary of Health, which is, what is their name? Levine, Abriel, Levine, the dude chick, Admiral Levine. And then you got RFK. Take a look. Which one looks healthier? It's going to worry about your health. Just stuff like that. It was just a clown show, all about diversity and this and that. It's like, I'm all for it. I'm not a homophobe. I can care less if you're qualified. Even her, but everybody says, well, the country's not ready for a black woman president. The country would be ready for a black woman president if you had one that was qualified. She wasn't qualified. She knows it. Millions of people know it. Get with the program. She wasn't there. It was empty. It was whatever they put in front of her to read. I bet there's probably a huge weight off her shoulders right now because she doesn't have to keep living the lie. Because believe me, it'd be big pressure if she became president because she can't do it. It's not in her. It's just not there. They said she was slosh. She couldn't concede to the election on the election night because she was hitting it hard because she knew. That's her coping mechanism. I played a video a couple of weeks ago about people, how they cope. when they're doing bad things, or, and they just have to live the lie. They deal with it by drinking or doing drugs. It all makes sense to me now. All makes sense to me. Either way, look, we'll be here next week, God willing. But again, I just wanted to make that point that even across the ocean, in Finland, I'm talking to people, or my friend over there, and he's telling me the same thing. This is what the news has done. Open your eyes. All right. It's simple. It's not that hard. Just open your eyes. I love you guys. I truly do. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't jeopardize. I could have stayed cheesecake and done fun things and just had shows about puppies and things like that, because, as I was saying with Jimmy, I knew that if I started doing this, I may start alienating a big majority of my crowd. In fact, I know I have on some friends I've got, 20 years at least relationships with. They're going, Peter, what's happened to you? You used to have a great show, and now you're talking all this political, in their opinion, bullshit. I'm sorry. There's plenty of people out there, and if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. I'm not going to not like you. I'll get over it. Maybe you won't, but that's life. I mean, if I was siding with what you believed in, you'd be pushing me. You'd be, oh man, your show's even better now. It's just because it doesn't happen to fit in your narrative, but yet we've got so many other things in common. So I'm hoping that we're all going to get over this. It's just going to take a little time. And I think, as the Orange Man puts it, success is going to be the end result. And that's going to be the even denominator. That's what's going to bring you around. Success. So just pay attention. All right. It's simple. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But anyway, all right. I love you. My name is Peter G. Thank you for watching Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Sunday Sunday. Now I'm really taking it back. Every Wednesday. I'm sorry. Every Wednesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. It's dark out anytime you look at it now. It's nighttime. Better go to bed. But first, watch the Peter G Show, all right? I love you guys. Don't forget, subscribe, share, follow everywhere. And if you can't watch the show, put an earbud in your ear, Google Peter G Show podcast, listen to the audio versions of the shows. They're on demand. You can watch all these shows, whether it's visually or audibly, anytime you want, on demand. Okay, so there's no excuse. Even though I know it's more thrilling when we go live, but sometimes when I'm having issues like this, who needs that kind of a thrill? But it's all good. Just do it, people. I love you. I do. I wouldn't do the get up. I mean, why do I put myself through this if it wasn't worth it? But it is, because I know for that a lot of people get a lot of, I get the emails. I do. I get them both, good and bad, but either way. All right. As always, see you next week. I love you guys, and peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, Divorce Dad.